Have you ever found yourself in need of a little extra courage? I can remember when I was a kid, I took piano lessons and we had a recital every spring. One year I was more nervous than others and I sat down at the piano to play the piece I'd memorized, the one I'd worked on. I started playing and then I got totally stuck. I couldn't for the life of me remember what notes came next. I was paralyzed at the piano. And that's when my teacher came up, patted me on the back, gave me an encouraging smile, and gave me my music. I'd practiced having it memorized, but allowing me to use the music gave me the courage I needed to finish. Now and then, we all need something to give us a nudge of courage or encouragement. Well, we are on the final day of our journey through this series, Ready, Set, Move. We're asking, how can we follow Jesus here, there, and everywhere? And today I want to wonder with you, how can we share what Jesus did? What would it look like to take these things that we've learned about Jesus, that we've experienced because of Jesus, and share them with other people? And today I invite you to open the book of Acts to read chapter 2. Now, the book of Acts as a whole, it tells the story of the early church. It gives us somewhat of a guidebook about how we can also be the church today. And something kind of wild happens at the beginning of Acts with the disciples and other people who are gathered. We read in Acts 2 that the wind comes and it fills the whole house. And then they saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated. It came to rest on each of them. All of them, it says, were filled with the Holy Spirit, and we learn that they suddenly can understand all of the languages that are being spoken. It seems like a miracle. Some people think they've simply had too much wine, and they're skeptical that this could have even happened at all. And then our good friend Peter, the rock, the one who denied Jesus but then was forgiven by him, the one who reminds us to love people, that guy. He comes back to this story. And in front of all of these skeptics, he recites something from ancient scriptures, telling everyone that they knew the Holy Spirit would come. Jesus died and was raised from the dead, and now this is the way that Jesus will continue to stay with them. The Holy Spirit, that's that nudge of courage that they needed. The story in Acts tells us that 3,000 people became believers that day. This huge group of people took what they heard from Peter and those disciples, and they believed that following Jesus was something they could do too. So back to our question today, how do we share what Jesus did? How do we leverage that courage from the Holy Spirit for ourselves? It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't mean that you somehow have to figure out how to explain word for word what Jesus did on the cross. Sometimes it means just being bold enough to share that you believe it all. Sometimes it means sharing your time with someone who needs a friend, or sharing words of encouragement with someone who is struggling. Sharing what Jesus did can happen through every one of us every single day, just in how we live, in how we love, in how we open our hearts and our minds to the people around us. And it's okay to need a nudge of courage every now and then. Just remember, you can trust that Holy Spirit is there to guide you.